Hello there, my name is Rachel. I'd like to talk about animation, and today we're going to talk about episode 9 of My Adventures with Superman. And this episode was very cheesy, but at the same time very hopeful. It's one of those episodes it tried to make you cry. Yeah, I don't mean try, I mean it accomplished it because I kind of teared up. I mean, I have to be honest, it was really well made. I have to admit, cheesy, but it's basically is Superman is cheesy. Yes, it's part of Superman. That sort of hopefulness, that sort of wholesome, cheesy, kind of humble kind of person in the situation you put himself, and that's what Superman really is. But besides that, this episode was great. It's all about what left off of the last episode, the sort of Suicide Squad or Superman's version of Suicide Squad capture him. They have the general interrogate Superman. He goes kind of crazy trying to understand why he's here. Where's his sort of army? Because you're the first one or not, and you understand the general sort of panic. Understand everything what made this sort of organization because it's all the technology of Superman, and also realizing what Superman's people has done. At least a part of it. We don't know the full backstory. Usually, history only show only the person who written their side of the story, and that's what they show in the general side. The situation of his allies getting massacred by Superman's kind, and all the weapons he actually picked up or made for this organization or made for defeating Superman is from Superman's own kind. And this is the general sort of mindset that Superman is evil. He has to be evil. He is one of them, especially how dangerous he really is. But at the same time, you hear his sort of backstory why he decided to work with Superman. You just see Superman sort of crushed. You see him cry. You see him broken down his people has done. Even that he doesn't know nothing about his origin, who he is, and his people actually have done. You just see him hurt because he doesn't know what he is. He's a weapon. He is meant for taking down planets. And that's a possibility because depends who is charged on Krypton, like who is the leader, depends on the comics. But besides that, I thought that sort of fascinating. Him sort of breaking down, becoming, let's face it, a little bit emo. He's so depressed, sad. But let's face it, you don't want Superman to be sad. You want him to be him, charming and happy. When you see him cry, you felt it. Even you're denying you don't like this show. You see Clark Kent, the Superman, broken down, you feel it. And that is good writing. Even if it's sort of cheesy, you felt it. Even felt it even more when Parasite attempted to kill him. That you see Parasite so losing it that he lost his own mind, believing everything would happen is Superman. The fact he was his fault, and he keep blaming him and using the suit of Parasite sort of grabbing his powers. Especially, I was sort of surprised that Superman could not fight because how emotionally broken he is. That he couldn't even punch him. He just finished me off, and you just get it. You just understand you can't fight because how disconnected he is of the reality right now. But interesting enough, uh, Parasite doesn't care. He just wanna kill him. He keep pushing him, torturing him, beating him up, throwing him like a rag doll. Till he realizes Lois is sort of looking for him, and Superman sort of snaps and wakes up and escapes from Parasite. But the only problem is Parasite getting stronger because the suit getting bigger, the size of a kaiju. Instead of the city's problem now what to do with this guy. He keeps destroying buildings because he's trying to look for Superman. At this point, you see Lois, Jimmy, and the kids they helped the first episode trying to find Superman. But I love it. They have a very emotional. What is the word I'm looking for? Emotional anchor. Like they understand Superman. They care for him because he cared for them. And you feel the emotions. You want to cry when the kids want to help out. Even that Jimmy, once again, Jimmy is very important. Use his social media to alert his fellow followers the situation in Superman really is, that he needs to down Parasite. But Parasite is just too strong, and Superman is not yet his full potential. So he struggles, and this is reason Jimmy asks his followers to turn off all the lights because Parasite keep draining all the power of the city. But that emotional moment that Jimmy asks for his followers to turn off to help Superman because Superman helped them, and you feel that sort of emotional bond that everybody he saved gets it. Superman is not evil. He's just a good guy who sometimes he get a little bit too trouble because of situations he get into. But you just get it. You feel the emotion of the whole city get his sort of back. He on the people want to help and they did. They turn off all the power so Superman can actually take out Parasite. And that was a really emotional scene. You seen Superman just sort of happy. Like the people understand who he is. And I thought that's just very hopeful, wonderful, slice of life kind of feeling. You just teared up, especially how Lois and Superman sort of kind of that was what the word I'm looking for. Patch things up because how she felt, she feel guilty, and Superman sort of understands, and they just kiss and make up, and that is sort of sweet. Especially that sort of twist I wasn't expecting that Jimmy found the machine that Lois used that machine future machine to see all the different versions of Superman. You just see his reaction, but you don't know what he's gonna do with this type of information, especially with Jimmy, who has not hundreds, billions of followers. He can easily drop this, and you could see Superman become evil again, or at least a subversion attacked. But we don't know what Jimmy will actually do. He will be panicking. He will actually try to talk to Superman. There's a lot of questions in the next episode. What can actually happen? And of course, I love that the other story of the general that he was talking to Waller, that she was sort of tired of the general, like tired to be his sort of incompetence, that he wants he won't the man wants to stop Superman, but you can see the general keeps slipping up. But the general kind of make a good point. When did he slip up? He was doing everything perfectly, every single thing. But that's the thing, that the general started to be soft, started to sort of question himself, did the right thing, because at the very end, how tactical he really is, he does care about the people, or specifically the civilians who are around Superman. He doesn't want to hurt the civilians because of Superman. And that's not a weakness, that's a strength. Because that itself kind of help you, what's the best word? Make you grounded, give you a conscious downwards. But I think this is a good thing for Amanda Water and the General to see the line of each one of them. The Man of Water will go places, torture civilians just to get what she needs to accomplish the mission. And you see the differences of both of them. But at the same time, you understand Waller how she feels because especially the event, a 0 hour, day zero, like they attacked all their allies and friends in that station of this strange spaceship they didn't understand and didn't do anything. But at the same time, you could tell what actually happened, especially at the end when actually the attack ended for no apparent reason. That's because I like to think maybe Clark Kent or Superman's real father stopped everything. Maybe that sort of makes sense because usually in the comics, Superman's father, once along well, does stop the evil general of their version or some evil person or government evil official. He just stops it. Because he has enough power to give his opinion and actually stop certain things. They always usually happen of his backstory. But all of that, just sort of predictions, we don't know it's gonna turn out that way. Maybe next episode can actually answer that. But all of that, I did enjoy this episode. Especially, I was surprised that the Miranda Water sort of, I want to say, cool the general, but not really. He just complained a little higher up so she could be fully in charge, or semi fully in charge, because Miranda Water give a sort of no-win scenario to the Colonel. Like, here, I give you this best weapon we have so you can finish Superman. It's a simple gun, but it's made for Superman's sort of death. so they can leave to the general what to do. So I found that sort of interesting because how complicated the relationship of the general and the Waller, because they are really good friends, but at the same time you sort of avoid the main mission. You can see that sort of conflict going back and forth in each other. I find it sort of interesting of their relationship, what they actually is, and how much sort of respect, because she can easily cut it off there, like I can do it myself, I don't need you, but at the same time, she willing to give another chance to the general, and that kind of speaks volumes because Amanda Waller is not known to give second chances. I mean, sort of depends on the situation, but usually not. But you sort of get the situation. But all of that, I really enjoyed this episode. It was cheesy, but a kind of good type of cheese. I wish this was sort of maybe a minute longer or two, just to not fully feel the cheese, like if you know what I mean. A good cheesy moment that you sort of not realize is cheesy. You know you did it right. This one you sort of notice it. That's why I wanted 2 or 1 more minute to maybe stretch it out and not feel as cheesy. But that's sort of minor complaint because it's just so well executed. Even that he needs time, it just landed when he needs to do, and that is I appreciate it. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You you need more time, but you did it just right. Now I got really nothing else to say. Just one question: how you felt about this episode? You felt this episode were really good, really bad? Tell me down below. Let me know. I got nothing else to say. Just thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.